All right. So we're back with Sarita. She has been sitting with the Melt into Moisture on her hair in a nice heat cap. And so now we're going to put some products in her. Now she has low porosity hair. So our biggest thing is we want super hydrating, but also things that hold nicely and don't leave a lot of frizz. So what I'm going to do is, remember I told you don't overuse this. She's got a lot of hair here, but I'm only using this much because this is more than enough. Look how thick that gets into the hair. And again, I'm kind of putting it over the canopy of her hair and then working it in. Now I can tell right away, low porosity hair, boom, starts drying right away. You're like, whoa, hey, what happened? And I mean, we just rinsed her. No problemo. Add the water. That's why you're going to say, what do I do at home? You're going to put this all in the shower. Do it all in the shower. I'm going to add a little because I kind of over-rinsed there. But I'm still only adding a tiny little bit. Comb through. Yes, this is the Dad Daily Conditioner Primer. And again, low porosities, curls, good buddy. And again, I'm working it through the edges. Just don't forget those edges. Now I feel like it's worked in there pretty good. Now I'm going to have her sit up. So even though Sarita's hair is very wet, we just rinsed it, and we added like a Hershey's Kiss size of cumulatively of the Daily Conditioner Primer by Dad, because I really like this for low porosity hair. It's like delicious frosting for the hair. So now we're going to go, again, you're going to want to go crazy with this. Don't. It's a very different product than most of the products you'll use in your life. So I'm using, this is the Vital Curl Trezifex Styling Gel. I'm starting, if you can see this, that's not that much, okay? It's like I did one healthy pump, then I'm rubbing it in and working it through. This is how I'm starting with about a section this big. I'm not going crazy small, but I'm not going crazy big. And just work, look how nice that looks. I mean, everybody's always like, God, I wish my hair could be like that when it's dry. Guess what? It can be. So there you go. Now we're going to take that down. I'm going to show you another section. And again, I'm doing this with my finger. If you notice, the whole time you've been watching me, no combs, It's like the best clip. There's your section. It's like one clip, right? Now, even though she's wet, low porosity hair, I need more water. See how it beads on her hair? That's how you know if you have low porosity. And again, it's not a bad or good, it's just what is. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people, blue eyes, brown eyes, it doesn't matter. That's the same with curls. There's no bad curl. The only time you have a bad curl is if it's had too much chemicals or anything like that, and still, then it just needs to be loved more. So, this is what you're doing. And you're combing it gently with the fingers, making sure that you're seeing a pretty curl pattern. And you're not overdoing it, because again, we don't want to freak, curly hair easily gets freaked out. But here's something that I've learned kind of the hard way. When you start getting to this area, add a little bit more and kind of work down with this. And again, oops, I should have showed you that. We're just putting like a little pearl size and working it through, because this is freakishly slippery. We don't normally sell these big bottles. We sell the little one and people are like, oh no, that's not going to work on my hair. Yeah, actually it will. So. Just remember this motion, because really any curly head that's pretty on the curl, like if you're a pretty curly person, this is a good motion to always remember, because you're detangling And you're kind of setting up the curl for success, for a pretty curly pattern. Now, if you have wavy hair, it's a different story. We'll be working on that next. There we go. I'm working it through. And how do you know if the hair is too dry? If you start getting resistance. Like I can tell right now, it's almost starting to dry. You'll also notice puffiness at the scalp. Like you want to make sure that that is not puffy at the scalp. If you're saying why? If it's puffy at the scalp, it's already started drying and you're going to end up with bigger hair than you wanted. Or if you want big hair, well then fine. You know, it's just, again, what I'm trying to teach you is so you're in control of your hair. It's not just doing what it likes. Because again, curly hair is about choices. You know, if you want to straighten, if you want to do all these things, that's your life, it's your hair, do what you want. But I'm just saying you should have a little more say in the outcome of your hair. And this will help you if you're a curly person to have a little more say in that, as opposed to, boy, I'm going to cross my fingers and hope this works out. Now, I can tell, and again, I'm not going crazy with this. I'm working at, see, I feel resistance. So what am I going to do right away? Water. Then working it through. And then we'll do the rest over by my station. So you want to make sure that you get in there and see, like right around here, just make sure that you're working the products through really nice so you see some curl patterns. And again, you know, sometimes you do need that edge tamer, but try to use the gel first. And when I'm going very minimally with these top sections, because if you said, well, how much did you use cumulatively of the Weedad Trez Effects? You really should, like a tablespoon for this much hair, because it's so slippery, you really shouldn't have to do a ton. Now she's doing so good, I almost don't even want to put anything else on her, but I'm going to show you something. We'll see if I regret it. It's a thing, you don't want to wreck your souffle with too many products. I'm almost tempted not to do it. I'll tell you about it. How about that? Let's just say you're at home, you're going through this, it's feeling pretty good, but you don't trust it. That's when you take some of this. All right, we're just going to do it because I love it. Let's do it. Start with that much. This, you kind of can't go, you could go crazy with this and it's still, and the reason that I like it is like, again, spread it over the canopy like this and then work it through with the hair. And I know somewhere, some curly person is cringing maybe, like Lorraine. Why are you putting that on her hair, you know? But it really, there's just times, you know you're gonna have a picture taken, you know the weather is not cooperating, and if you live in Chicago, it could be summer in the morning and it's snowing by the evening. This is why you would use it. You're not going to do it all the time. But when you're very concerned that things aren't going to, you know, that you're going to get hit with the unknown. And see how, then you can kind of hit the edges too. But again, work it through nicely. And you should see that nice curl pattern in there. And where do you like it parted, Sarita?
I generally like right here.
Work it back over. Like over here?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
like
perfect.
pretty much there.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is, again, we do want it to maintain as much smoothness. Yeah, again, you can rock star it and make it big, but you know, we want it to dry smaller because we can always make it bigger. Water, water, water.
Yeah, I didn't notice how much water I needed. And like you said earlier, when I'm shampooing, sometimes I feel that resistance when I'm trying to detangle my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, didn't even think about, you know, okay, it needs more water, different products. And
right.
these things were, like you said, 10,
You just don't
15
think
years
about
ago,
them.
It wasn't around. We never knew.
Right.
Growing up. Like,
Now, with Sarita, that's the thing too. She's really done a lot of research on her own to find out what works best on her. Now, what I could do is I could put clips in here, but I want to show you a kind of more controlled outcome. So I'm not going to put a bunch of clips in because, yeah, we can make it look all, because in real life, sometimes you just got to run, you got to go, and a lot of people struggle with clipping. So I'm going to do without the clips, and we'll see where we go with that. So again, if you notice, this sort of fell off. I'm not necessarily against that because, again, I want her to dry as uniformly as possible. If you have a turtleneck on or other stuff that's bunching up your curl, wherever it lays, it stays. If it's drying like that, it's going to want to stay like that. So don't touch it while it's drying. That's the best thing I can tell you. When it's wet, what is it? If you touch it when it's wet, the frizzier it will get.
oh,
I think I made that up, but maybe somebody else did and I heard it. But that's what I always think of. So, okay, now we're gonna go into a helmet dryer. Let's say you didn't have a helmet dryer. Real quick, let me show you the different options with the diffuser. This is the Dyson. Yeah, it's the Mac Daddy of hair dryers. Do you have to spend $400? No. But if you want to dry faster, it really does help. And again, the nice thing is, why do you even use a diffuser? What's it for? No wind. See how our hair's not flying all over the place? No wind, just heat. If you look at those helmet dryers, that's what they're doing. So let's say you don't have the money or the space to have a helmet dryer, you can use this, and it's like a helmet dryer in a little diffuser. I'm going to show you one of my favorite diffusers. Let's say you have a regular hair dryer at home. This is such a good diffuser. You can get it online, Solano. Here's your blow dryer. This is like got a spring in it. You just stick it right on. And again, see, she's not blowing all over the place. Even high? Nope. Because the most important thing is to build a cast. And you're like, well, why do I need to build a cast? Because if you touch it when it's wet, the frizzier it will get. So let it dry. See how pretty her curls look? Let it just dry that way. Let it be. All right, so now we're gonna go and I'm gonna sit under, because we're at a salon, we can sit under a helmet dryer. But if you don't, those are other options. So we're gonna come right this way.
Not too hot or cold. Yeah, good. All right.
So now, you're not gonna probably lay on your bed and diffuse this way. But when you're diffusing, I do want to tell you a couple things, and then I'm going to show you how you can get it bigger with diffusing at home. So she could just let it dry, and it'll be its most elongated if she doesn't do any diffusing. But what you want to do, again, is move your diffuser over the hair. You're not always going to want to cup it. You know, everybody thinks when they see a diffuser that you're like cupping, but then think about it. You're pushing the hot air up, so it's making the frizz kind of occur, which isn't necessarily good. So you really actually want to hit the hair like this. But this is your move. What you would do if you did that is you would do it side to side. So you'd be leaning like this and diffusing. And that's how you're gonna, and if you see I'm not moving it, because again, if you want it to pop up and be big, do that. But even if you want it big, at the last step, point it down, because you want all the hair follicles to lay down so it doesn't just look frizzy. So this is your move. Like I know with her, I can make it a little hotter. But again, I'm moving the diffuser around on her and I've got it on high blow, high wind. Because again, when somebody has low porosity hair, their hair takes a long time to dry. And maybe the outside is dry, but oh surprise, the inside isn't. Now, another thing, you're like, oh no, am I gonna lose all my, like, is it gonna shrink up? So what you wanna make sure, she's getting pretty dry, but you wanna make sure that if it starts shrinking up too much, take your 4 fingers, put some pressure, pull it down a little, and just diffuse a little, going down. Does that make sense? Again, you don't want to do it down here because then you're going to straighten it out and it's going to look weird. But if you do it at the root where it gets really tight, and she doesn't get crazy tight at the root, but here's a good example. See where she's kind of tight right there? I want to smooth it down a little. So I'm just going to gently give it a little tug and smooth it down. And don't let go of it right away because it's still deciding if it wants to be tight curly or not. Now let's say you want to make that even smoother. You have a condenser which makes all the heat condense into there. You're going to turn it up, kind of on the hot side. You're going to grab the hair and just gently get it at the root. And let it cool down if it's too hot. And see how suddenly that just got a lot smoother. Even around here. Then if you want to, you can always put like a little edge tamer or something right there, but you don't have to. Again, you don't want it to look like 2 different haircuts. Your goal is kind of, in a lot of cases, is continuity. I mean, if you don't care, it's all about the style you want. But if you want a little more continuity, just take those wild bits and kind of make them blend with the rest of the curl. And that's it. See how that got straight? Don't worry about it. Again, we're gonna pump it up. Now, I can feel that she's a little bit drier, so now we can start to squeeze it a little. But anywhere that I'm feeling dampness, I go through and I go like that. And if it's still wet at the scalp, like people with really low porosity hair, this will be all dry and this will be like soaking wet. Part the curtain and go like that. Before you even touch it, just do this. Get it as dry as you can get it. And then once you feel it's pretty dry, then tug it a little. And you're good to go. Again, how you touch it matters. Now, Sarita has asked for big hair. So again, I'm going to show you a little bit about diffusing and making it bigger. I'm going to have you sit back up. Now, let me have you do the supermodel flip forward. Cool. And she's still kind of wet. That's okay. Again, be patient. Now if you notice, I'm kind of overextending and doing this because we're breaking it up. We don't want her to be small anymore. Like before, she had that really tame, controlled curl. I want to get in there because we're going for rock star. Now see those guys who are kind of being droopy? Fear not. Now we can bounce them up a little bit. The bouncing maneuver is really good because you're not going to cook the hair too much. You really want to try to avoid putting heat too long in any one place because it's just not good for the hair. And when I do this, I'm going right to the scalp. Why? Ooh, and it's still hot. That's awesome. I'm going to use my fingers to keep styling while that heat is still locked in. Low porosity here. Another thing is, it like holds the heat. Like I can touch her hair right now and it's still warm. So you're using that as a styling option to get that big, awesome hair. Now let's just say, you can stay just like this. Let's just say we did all this and her hair didn't get big for some reason. Here's the secret weapon. Stay like this.
Okay.
That I have hidden in here. Nobody buys it, but you should have it if you want gigantic hair that lasts. It's called Dust It. It's by Osis Schwarzkopf. It's a white powder. And I don't think she's going to need it, so I'm going to use it on me. You can either tap it into the hair, or you can rub it like this and get in there and have hair that like makes a statement. I mean, if you really want statement hair, you're going to a concert, they're shooting a video, you want to be in the video, put that in your root and work it in really good. Especially if you have dark hair, you want to work it in really good so you don't have like that powdery residue. But look, I mean, it goes right in there, you know. They actually make one, if you're not good with the tapping it in your hand, there's one where you can spray, but a lot comes out, so beware. Again, I'm just showing you everything I use. I'm not trying to push product on you, but there's a lot of tools out there that can really help you if you know which ones to choose for you. And again, you would not put this on wet. You'd put this on dry as your last stage when you want that big hair. I may even like just go crazy with her and add some too. So first we'll see with just the stuff she's got on there right now.
Okay.
Okay, you can sit back up. So now we're getting it big. But is it big enough? No, we want it bigger. So you're going to take your diffuser again, fingers, pull it up because you just put product on it. It just was sitting under there drying. It's going to be probably the straightest, you know, or flattest it's been. So you need to kind of pull it up a little, heat it, and pop it up. And give a little head massage. The head massage is your friend. Like I can still feel that heat in there. That's the other thing too. Some's feeling a little crispy. Get it where it's dry as dry can be. Make sure your hands are dry too. They're not completely dry, but pretty good. And just because again, you're trying to knock out that crispiness. Mm-hmm. Now, because she was drying under the hooded dryer up there, it's still kind of small, but again, fear not. We have tools, that's why I I have all these things that I'm showing you guys. Remember this stuff we talked about, the Set It Free? So we need her to get bigger, but we also need it to get a little moisturized in there. So that's got a nice spray, and I'm gonna have you flip forward again. And again, I just teach everything and you take from it what's gonna be the most helpful for you. Now, this sort of reactivated that area that got nice and smooth. But you're gonna immediately wanna overcook it. Don't overcook, don't throw it on high. Put it on low wind, believe it or not, and low heat. We're just rebooting things. And we don't want to overcook curls. Sometimes too, you know if it's falling really flat on top, time to get a haircut. You know, that's how you're gonna know. And with the dry cutting, you can be very precise about not cutting too much off the length and really getting the top to pop. Because sometimes length is good. You don't really need to cut much off that, but this top has gotten very flat. Again, and watch it, and you know, again, peek up every so often when you're at home. Is it getting bigger? Then, like I said, you can take a little bit of this because we're just going to kind of go crazy. Here's the little trick. This would be for special occasions or if you just want gigantic hair. My mom doesn't listen to me about anything. This is the only thing she's ever listened to me about. Because it's like back combing in a bottle. And see how I rub that in? Like, I mean, she's got dark hair. Doesn't matter. I love the fact that people want big hair now. Because man, when I first started, it was like everybody wanted small, smaller, and smallest. Now it's like, no. They want big, 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 big. Go big or go home. And I just say put it where you think you need it most. And no, it doesn't feel natural. I mean, your whole point is to just go for the glamour, not for the natural feeling. Then, make sure everybody's working together. And I would say at some point, if she comes back for her haircut, I would take this stuff and get almost have it move forward, like you have a cut going forward. Yeah. I did a cut yesterday on somebody like that. Man, what a difference, because she had it going out like this.
Yeah.
And when we did that, it just gave all this immediate, she didn't have to work so hard. Cool. Now you can look back up. And now she's got this like big rockstar hair. I wish I wasn't wearing like this outfit because then you can see it in all its glory, all its super beautiful, glorious awesomeness, low porosity rocks. It's just about being patient with yourself. It's not gonna, the first time you try this stuff, it may not exactly be it, but have faith. These products are by people who have curly hair, who created them for other people with curly hair. And if you just can't get it, most curly salons have kind of like a styling session. Some are complimentary if you're getting a haircut. Some you can come in and that's all you guys will work on. I mean, I do that a lot, where somebody's like almost there, but they need a little more help. That's what you can do, together too, to figure out what works best for you. So hopefully you've learned some stuff about low porosity hair and how awesome it can be. And also just not being cookie cutter. be the best you can be. Curly hair is an act of self-love. I truly believe that. It's when you take it upon yourself to like rock out what God gave you, as opposed to like, I got to pick up a magazine and do exactly what they tell me here. And I feel like magazines are actually getting better and better and better about embracing that. So yeah, rock on, and here's a nice little curly style. Yay!